Alias Grace is a historical fiction novel by Canadian writer Margaret Atwood. The story fictionalizes the notorious 1843 murders of Thomas Kinnear and his housekeeper Nancy Montgomery in Canada West. Two servants of the Kinnear household, Grace Marks and James McDermott, were convicted of the crime. McDermott was hanged and Marks was sentenced to life imprisonment. Although the novel is based on factual events, Atwood constructs a narrative with a fictional doctor, Simon Jordan, who researches the case. While Jordan is conducting research into criminal behavior, he slowly becomes personally involved in the Marks story and seeks to reconcile his perception of the mild-mannered woman he sees with the murder of which he has been convicted. Before jumping into the plot summary, let us discuss the main characters and their characterization. The first main character is Grace Marks. The protagonist, a model prisoner with a respectful demeanor, intelligent, observant, and resentful of being made a spectacle. She maintains a facade while harboring deeper emotions and secrets. The second important character of the novel is Thomas Kinnear, a wealthy Scottish farmer who is murdered in his home, setting the story in motion. The third important character is Nancy Montgomery, Kinnear's mistress and housekeeper, also murdered alongside him, adding to the layers of the complexity of the plot. The fourth important character is James McDermott. Convicted of Kinnear's murder, he is portrayed as a rough character, resentful and rebellious, ultimately meeting his fate through execution. The fifth important character is Simon Jordan, a fictional character, a young physician interested in mental health, whose interactions with Grace drive the narrative forward. The sixth important character is Mary Whitney, Grace's friend and fellow maid, ambitious and hopeful about her future in Canada, providing insight into Grace's personal life and aspirations. The seventh important character of the novel is Jeremiah Pontelli, a mysterious peddler and hypnotist who enters Grace's life, offering both intrigue and danger with his ominous predictions and hidden motives. Now let's jump into the plot summary. Grace Marks, the convicted murderess, has been hired out from prison to serve as a domestic servant in the home of the governor of the penitentiary. A committee of gentlemen and ladies from Methodist Church, led by the minister, hopes to have her pardoned and released. Grace cannot remember what happened on the day of the murders, and she exhibits symptoms of hysteria. Hysteria can be termed as emotional fear. So the minister hires Dr. Simon Jordan, a psychiatrist, to interview her, hoping he will find her to be a hysteric and not a criminal. An arrangement is made so that Jordan will interview Grace during afternoons in the sewing room in the governor's mansion. Jordan tries to lead Grace into talking about her dreams and her memories, but she evades his suggestion. So he asks her to start at the beginning, and she proceeds to tell him the story of her life. Grace tells of her early childhood in Ireland, where her father was often drunk and her mother often pregnant, and Grace had to take care of the younger children. She tells the doctor details of the filthy, crowded conditions in the hold of the ship where her mother sickened and died. In Canada, because her father continued to spend his earnings on alcohol, she and the children nearly starved, and with her mother gone, Grace's father began abusing her and even at one point attempted to rape her. Jordan listens but is impatient. Jordan is the psychiatrist. He listens, but he is impatient, viewing her early privations and abuse as irrelevant to the case. As a serving girl, Grace tells the doctor how she met Mary Whitney, then her roommate and only friend. Mary taught Grace how to act the role of a servant and joked with her about the family's upper class airs when nobody else was listening. Giving motherly advice on how to stay out of trouble with young men, Mary told her if there is a ring, there had better be a parson. Mary herself became pregnant, presumably by a son of the family, and died from a botched abortion. Grace had helped Mary get home and into bed, but awoke the next morning to find Mary dead. Grace was troubled afterwards by the idea that she should have opened the window during the night when Mary died to let her soul out. Grace continues the story in vivid detail, making an effort to keep the doctor interested. He is aroused by Grace's descriptions of James MacDormand's advances and Thomas Skinner's affair with Nancy Montgomery. The doctor's landlady, whose drunken husband had by then left her, throws herself at him. He is not attracted to her and turns her away several times. He gives her money so she can keep the house, thinking she will stop bothering him. But that only provokes her to try harder until she finally seduces him once, only for him to tell her that he wished it to be with someone else and never with her. A spiritualist on the committee has long since proposed that a Dr. DuPont, a neurohypnotist, should put Grace in a trance and arouse her unconscious memory. Jordan, now mostly concerned with escaping the designs of his landlady, can no longer dissuade the committee. It appears to all present that after DuPont puts Grace to sleep, the voice of Mary Whitney takes over, gleefully telling everyone she haunted Grace because her soul was not freed when she died. She said she possessed Grace's body on the day of the murders and drove MacDormand to help her kill Montgomery and Kinnear. She says Grace does not remember because she did not know what happened. Jordan allows that there have been some scientific reports of a double personality phenomenon, but he evades the committee's request for his reports and leaves town, claiming his mother is ill. He promises to send them the report, but returning home, he promptly joins the Union Army. After he is wounded in the war, he moves into his mother's house. The last word he says is Grace. Grace eventually is pardoned, and according to the novel, she changes her name and begins a new life in the United States. And with this, the novel comes to an end. There are actually many themes in this novel, out of which few are quite important. The first crucial theme is identity and perception. The novel delves into the complexity of identity, particularly how society perceives individuals based on their actions and circumstances. Grace's identity as a murderess shapes how others view her, highlighting the theme of societal judgment and the struggle to define oneself in the eyes of others. The second important theme is truth and memory. The narrative raises questions about the reliability of memory and truth, as Grace's recollections of the events surrounding the murders are uncertain and subject to interpretation. This theme underscores the elusive nature of truth and the challenge of uncovering it amid conflicting accounts and personal biases. The third important theme is gender and power. Alias Grace explores the dynamics of gender and power in 19th century society, particularly how women navigate patriarchal structures and exert agency within restrictive social norms. The experiences of Grace and other female characters highlight the unequal power dynamics and the constraints imposed on women's life. The fourth important theme is class and social hierarchy. The novel examines the impact of class and social status on individual lives, illustrating the disparities between the wealthy elite and the working class. Grace's position as a maid and her interaction with characters from different social strata shed light on the inequalities and injustice inherent in the society. The fifth important theme is freedom and confinement. Themes of freedom and confinement permeate the narrative both literally and metaphorically. Grace's imprisonment serves as a physical manifestation of confinement, while her internal struggles reflect the quest for personal freedom amidst the societal constraints and expectations. The sixth and the most important theme is justice and redemption. Alias Grace raises questions about justice and redemption, particularly regarding Grace's culpability in the murders and whether she deserves forgiveness or punishment. The pursuit of justice becomes intertwined with the search of truth, as characters grapple with the consequences of their actions and the possibility of redemption. These themes intertwine to create a rich tapestry of storytelling, offering insights into human nature, society, and the complexities of the human experience.